It's Sunday night. You and your partner are sitting at the kitchen table with your laptops open, looking at your bank account. Again. You both worked all week. You both got paid on Friday. And somehow, after rent, daycare, car payments, groceries, and insurance, there's $847 left. For the entire month. Your partner looks at you and says, "We make $115,000 a year. Where does it all go?" And you don't have an answer. Because you're not eating out every night. You're not taking vacations. You're not buying luxury anything. You're just existing. And it's eating every dollar. Here's what's going to blow your mind. Your grandfather raised 4 kids on one income. He owned a house. He had a car. He retired with a pension. And he never made 6 figures in his entire life. You and your partner both work full-time. You make more money than your grandparents ever dreamed of. And you're broke. This isn't about you being bad with money. This is about a trap. A carefully designed economic trap that most dual-income families will never escape. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how it works and how to break free. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Wealth Context. If you're new here, this is where we break down the real financial forces shaping your life. No BS, no hype, just the economics that actually matter. Before we dive in, make sure to hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. It helps the algorithm show this to more people who are stuck in this exact trap. Alright, so let's talk about the two-income trap. And I need to be clear up front. This isn't about blaming anyone for working. This isn't some traditional values argument. This is pure economics. Cold, hard numbers. The question is simple. If 2 people working should mean double the financial security, why are dual-income families more stressed, more broke, and more trapped than single-income families were 50 years ago? The answer is going to make you angry, but it's going to make a lot of things make sense. The 1970s, single-income reality. Let's start with some context, because most people don't actually know how different things were. In 1970, the typical American family looked like this. One parent worked, usually the father statistically. One parent stayed home, usually the mother. Median household income, about $9,870. That's roughly $77,000 in today's dollars when adjusted for inflation. They owned a home, they owned a car, sometimes 2. They had 2 to 4 kids on average. They saved for retirement. They took family vacations. They weren't wealthy, but they were comfortable. Now, here's what that single income could actually buy. Median home price in 1970, $23,000, about 2.3 times their annual income. Average new car, $3,500. Public university tuition, $400 per year. Average family healthcare costs, mostly covered by employer, minimal out-of-pocket. Groceries for a family of 4, about 14% of income. One income, one job, and the math worked. The stay-at-home parent wasn't just not working. They were saving the family massive amounts of money by cooking all meals, no takeout, no delivery fees. Doing all home repairs and maintenance, managing the household efficiently, providing free childcare, shopping strategically and buying on sale, making and mending clothes. That unpaid labor was worth tens of thousands in today's dollars, but even without calculating that, the single paycheck covered everything. Now let's look at today, and this is where it gets brutal. The 2026 dual income nightmare. Fast forward to 2026. The typical American family now looks like this. Both parents work full-time, out of necessity, not choice. Median household income, about $75,000, but that's 2 people working, often 80-plus hours combined per week. They might own a home, if they're lucky and had help with the down payment. Or, more likely, they're renting and can't afford to buy. They have 1 to 2 kids maximum, or 0 kids because they can't afford them. Retirement savings? Minimal or non-existent. Vacations? Maybe every few years. They're exhausted, stressed, and broke. Here's what that dual-income family is facing. Median home price in 2026, $420,000 plus, about 5.6 times their annual income. Average new car, $48,000 plus. Public university tuition, $11,000 to $30,000 per year, plus room and board. Average family health care, $1,800 to $2,500 per month in premiums alone, not including deductibles, co-pays, prescriptions. Groceries for a family of 4, about 20 to 25% of income. Childcare, $1,200 to $2,500 per month per child. Let me repeat that last one. Childcare, $1,200 to $2,500 per month per child. In many parts of the country, childcare costs more than rent, more than a mortgage payment, more than a car payment. So let's do some quick math here. If you're a dual-income household making $75,000 combined, you're taking home about $55,000 after taxes. That's $4,583 per month. Now let's subtract the basics. Rent or mortgage, $2,000, conservative. Childcare for 1 kid, $1,500. 2 car payments, $900. Car insurance, $250. Health insurance premiums, $600. Employer covers some. Groceries, $800. Utilities, $200. Gas, $300. Phone, $150. That's $6,700. You're already $2,117 over budget. And we haven't even covered student loans, credit card payments, clothes, kids' activities, home repairs, medical co-pays, literally anything else. You're not broke because you're irresponsible. You're broke because the math doesn't work. Here's what changed: the trap mechanism. Now, you might be thinking, okay, but we make more money now. Incomes went up too, right? Wrong. Here's the thing that nobody talks about. What increased faster than income? 1. Housing. Home prices increased 400 to 500% faster than wages since 1970. Why? Because when families went from 1 income to 2 incomes, housing prices adjusted. Sellers and landlords realized families could afford more, so they charged more. Dual incomes didn't make housing more affordable, they made housing more expensive. Banks started approving mortgages based on 2 incomes instead of 1. So suddenly, families could afford a $400,000 house that would have been impossible on 1 income. But that didn't make them richer. It made them more leveraged. 2. Childcare. This cost didn't exist for single-income families. When both parents work, you need childcare. And childcare providers know you have no choice. You can't leave your kid home alone. So they charge whatever the market will bear. In many cases, one parent's entire salary goes to childcare. They're working full-time just to pay someone else to raise their kid. And at the end of the year, They've netted maybe $5,000 after childcare costs, taxes, work clothes, commuting, and extra food costs from not having time to cook. 3. Transportation. Single-income families had one car, maybe two. Dual-income families need two cars because both people are commuting. That's two car payments, two insurance premiums, two sets of maintenance, double the gas. You're spending an extra $8,000 to $12,000 per year on transportation just because both people work. 4. Healthcare. Healthcare costs have increased 300% plus faster than inflation. In 1970, most healthcare was covered by employers with minimal out-of-pocket costs. Today, even with good insurance, families are paying $1,500 to $2,500 per month in premiums, plus deductibles, plus copays. A family health emergency can cost $5,000 to $10,000 out of pocket, even with insurance. 5. Education. College tuition has increased 1,200% since 1980, far outpacing inflation and wage growth. In 1970, you could work a part-time summer job and pay for college. Today, students graduate with $30,000 to $100,000 plus in debt, and that debt follows dual-income families for decades. 6. The time tax. Here's the hidden cost nobody calculates. When both parents work, you have no time to cook meals, so you spend more on takeout and convenience food. Do home repairs, so you pay contractors. Shop for deals, so you pay full price. Maintain your car, so repairs are more expensive. Manage finances carefully, so you pay overdraft fees, late fees, miss better deals. This time poverty costs dual-income families thousands per year. You're paying a premium for convenience because you have no time. The psychology of the trap. Here's where it gets really insidious, because this isn't just about economics, it's about psychology. The lifestyle inflation trap. When families went from one income to two incomes, they didn't bank the second income. They spent it. They needed a bigger house because both parents were working, and they deserved more space. They needed two nice cars because both parents were commuting to professional jobs. They needed to eat out more because nobody had time to cook. They needed nicer clothes, nicer vacations, nicer everything because they were working so hard. And slowly, gradually, all of that became the new baseline, the new normal, and expenses rose to consume both incomes entirely. The bidding war trap. Here's the really messed up part. When dual incomes became normal, it created a bidding war for everything. Housing. Families with two incomes could bid higher for homes, so home prices rose. Now you need two incomes just to compete. Single-income families got priced out entirely. School districts. The good school districts became unaffordable because dual-income families bid up the housing. So now your choice is either both parents work to afford the good district, or one parent stays home and the kids go to a worse school. Childcare. As more families needed childcare, prices rose. Now it costs $1,500 to $2,500 per month. That's $18,000 to $30,000 per year. After taxes, one parent might be working just to cover childcare. You're running faster and faster just to stay in the same place. The brutal math. Does the second income even matter? Let's do an honest calculation. Let's say one parent makes $55,000 and the other makes $45,000. Combined gross income, $100,000. That sounds great, right? 6 figures. But let's subtract the costs of that second income. Second income, lower earner, $45,000. Minus federal taxes, 22% bracket, minus $9,900. Minus state taxes, 5% average, minus $2,250. Minus FICA, 7.65%, minus $3,443. Take home, $29,407. Now subtract the costs of working. Childcare for one kid, minus $18,000 per year. Second car payment, minus $6,000 per year. Second car insurance, minus $1,800 per year. Gas and maintenance, minus $2,500 per year. Work clothes and dry cleaning, minus $1,000 per year. Eating out/convenience food, no time to cook, minus $3,000 per year. Total costs of working, minus $32,300. Net benefit of second income, minus $2,893. The escape routes. What you can actually do. All right, so you're stuck in the trap. What do you do? Here are the real options. Option 1. Strategic single income. If the math shows that one income is mostly going to childcare and work expenses, consider having one parent stay home until the kids are in school. Yes, you'll take a career hit. Yes, there are risks. But if you're netting $2,000 per year from that second income after expenses, you're basically working full-time for $167 per month. That's not worth it. Option 2. Reduce the big three. If both incomes are truly necessary, you have to reduce housing, transportation, and childcare costs. Housing. Move to a lower-cost area. Downsize. Get a roommate. Rent out a room on Airbnb. Do whatever it takes to get housing below 25% of gross income. Transportation. Sell one car if possible. Buy used cars with cash. Move closer to work. Bike or take transit. Childcare. Find a family member who can help. Join a childcare co-op. Work opposite shifts so one parent is always home. Look into in-home daycares, often cheaper. You cannot cut your way out of this by skipping lattes. You have to attack the big expenses. Option 3. Increase income strategically. This is the hardest but most effective route. If both incomes are necessary, at least make sure they're high incomes. Upskill. Get certifications. Learn high-value skills. Switch to higher-paying industries. Negotiate. Most people never negotiate salary. Ever. That's leaving tens of thousands on the table over a career. Side income. If one parent can work from home, add a side income that doesn't require childcare or commuting costs. Option 4. Geographic arbitrage. The same two incomes go way further in a low cost of living area. $100,000 in San Francisco is poverty. $100,000 in Omaha is comfortable. If you can work remotely, move. I'm serious. The single best financial decision many dual-income families can make is moving to a place where one income could theoretically cover the basics. The uncomfortable truth. Here's what nobody wants to admit. For many families, the two-income model is a trap that benefits everyone except the family. It benefits employers. Larger labor pool equals lower wages. Landlords and home sellers can charge more. Childcare providers, captive market. Car companies, selling twice as many vehicles. Convenience industries, fast food, delivery, outsourced services. But the family? They're working twice as hard, seeing their kids less, stressed out of their minds, and still broke. Your grandparents had one income and built wealth. You have two incomes and build debt. That's not a personal failure. That's a systemic trap. Look, I'm not saying everyone should go back to single-income households. For some families, that's not possible or desirable. Both parents might love their careers. Both incomes might be necessary. But what I am saying is this. If you're a dual-income household and you're broke, you need to run the actual numbers. Calculate what that second income is really netting after taxes and work expenses. And if the answer is $5,000 a year, maybe there's a better way. Because you shouldn't have to work 80 hours a week as a household just to barely survive. That's not living. That's a trap. If this video opened your eyes to how the system works, smash that like button and subscribe to Wealth Context for more breakdowns on the real economics of modern life. And drop a comment. Are you in a dual-income household? Does the math work for you, or are you trapped? Let's talk about it. Because 10 years from now, you're either going to be glad you faced this reality and made changes, or you're going to still be exhausted, broke, and wondering where it all went wrong. Don't be that family. I'll see you in the next one.